Hey there everyone, Dr. Beth Westy here. I wanted to pop on and talk about when the best time is to work out. So this video comes as a suggestion from someone. So if you have a question, if you're wondering about something specifically about how your body works, functions, best ways to eat, exercise, lifestyle things for your body, for your hormones to get and keep the best results, you can always send me a question, put a comment below, that type of a thing. I do have a lot more resources on my YouTube channel, which is just called Dr. Beth Westy, so you can check that out, subscribe there, all the things, yes. But we're going to talk about the best time to work out here. I'm going to give you my spiel of things right at the beginning so I can just focus on this stuff, because once I start talking about this, I know I'm going to get really pumped about it and probably forget later. I also just smashed my thumb, and so it feels really puffy. That's not pertinent to what we're talking about, but I just wanted to let you know, in case you see me like doing a video, I talk with my hands a lot, and if I keep touching my thumb, it feels like it has a heartbeat. Okay, so my YouTube channel, Waitlist for the next 12-week challenge. I go over these things in the 12-week challenge with you. We look at this thing, your cortisol levels specifically, in the 12-week. The 12-week is revamped, includes a Dutch test, which is a dried urine test, which gets sent right to your home. You take the test, send it in, and then we go over it and what your levels are, so we know what your body is doing and how to work with your system the best. Yes, such helpful information. Even if it's not fun to hear, it's very, very helpful. So again, get on the wait list, which is in the comments right below. Yes. Other resources I have for you are, I have a book called The Female Fat Solution. This is all about nutrition that matches your hormones and your cycle. Female Menopause Solution. This is all about perimenopause and menopause, how to eat, exercise, all the things for this phase of life. So, and then I do have a podcast, I dropped stuff, a podcast called The Female Health Solution. So again, if you have questions on any of the things and any of the, content I put out, do not hesitate. I get questions from women literally just about every day from all over the world. So you are not alone for feeling like, why is my body doing this? Why do I feel exhausted? Why can't I do this or that? Why do I do a workout and I am wiped out for days? Like I didn't even lift that hard and holy crap, my legs are just not recovering. Right? Yeah, I've had a lot of stress for years. This isn't anything out of the ordinary. Yeah, it can be though for your system. So one of the questions I got was, when is the best time to work out? Best time to work out. So, reasons why I love questions like this is that a lot of times we view our own bodies like they should respond the same all the time, when in reality, our system changes every week throughout the month. You live in 4 different bodies. So it would make sense that there are going to be some days that you wake up in the morning and you feel amazing working out earlier in the day. And other days you're like, what is my deal? I just cannot get going today. And you feel better working out later in the day. Part of that is going to be cortisol, which we'll talk about here, and I want to do a deeper dive on cortisol. But another part of this is related to your hormonal cycle, where your body is at and everything else. So keep that in mind. Overall, a lot of these recommendations I'm making are sort of like general, right? And it is really helpful to understand what is happening for your system specifically. Yes. Because when we talk about the general thing, oftentimes this is like not what happens most of the time. Super fun fact. When they make textbooks, I remember like when I was in grad school and we were dissecting cadavers and things like that, going over anatomy textbooks and then looking at the actual anatomy on a human. Like the textbook is only, right, like what happens, I think it was like 35% of the time. It was like a third of the time it's consistent. Otherwise, the other percentage, the larger percentage, it's like different for everybody. That's why we are all so different physically, right? Like every body is different. You look different, your hair color, right? Even people you're related to, you look different, right? Like me and my sisters, we look similar. Like you can tell we're sisters, but we don't look the same. I mean, I am 6'2", right? My sisters are like 5'9". I am enormous next to them. I always have been, right? So of course it would make sense that a lot of the things you have happening inside your system, how your body processes hormone, how you react to stress, all that stuff is going to be just as unique, just as special. Which means that following a lot of times like a cookie cutter thing, you're like, well, this part is great, but this part really isn't working for me. No, because your body is different. Part of the fun of being human is just figuring out how your meat suit works and working with that. Yay. So let's talk about workouts. And besides the hormone piece of it, and if you want me to do a whole video on that specifically, I will. But I wanted to dedicate this one to cortisol because that was what the question was specifically about. How do I work out? When should I work out according to my cortisol levels? And I'm going to start with where your cortisols should be throughout the day, right? So from waking, morning, afternoon, and evening, your cortisols should follow a certain pattern. You should have a certain amount in your system when you wake up. That's been built up in your body overnight while you're sleeping. Yay, this helps you like, bing, wake up. If your levels are too high up here or too low down here, it's like you're waking up in an anxiety attack up here. Yes, that happens for some gals. They wake up in a fight or flight mode, like, and then it's completely exhausting. Or too low, you're waking up on a completely empty battery. If you've ever not charged your phone overnight and woken up and you're like, crap, it's 2%. That's you there, right? Either one of those scenarios. Do you think waking up and heading to the gym, forcing yourself to do a workout that is going to have a cortisol response for your system is going to be the best thing for your body at that point? No. No. Optimally, if your cortisol levels are appropriate in the morning, even though your cortisol does rise naturally, this is the natural progression here, yes. Doing a morning workout is fantastic because it gets your system going in the morning, helps wake up your brain and your body, get all these metabolism processes going. Wonderful. Again, as long as you're eating, please don't do a fasted workout. I have other videos on that. Again, if you've missed them or if you want me to do a different, viewpoint on them, please let me know. I can. But for the female body, it is not beneficial, especially long term. Yes, have something in your system before you do a workout. But even though your cortisol levels are rising naturally, to lean into that and to wake your system up, doing workouts in the morning is fantastic and can sort of help your system level out the rest of the day, help your digestive system, help those processes, circulatory system, all the things. All the things. I love doing workouts in the morning. A lot of that actually has to do with my lifestyle right now. I have 3 children. If I don't do a workout in the morning, and I'm like, oh, I totally have time at 3:30 today to go for a run or to do this thing. 9 times out of 10, I'm dealing with one of the children. I love my children. They are wonderful humans. That's so great. But in terms of like life consistency, I often have to do that outside of my mom hours. Because kids, right? Because kids! So that's when I like to do my workouts, and it helps, with my system, with my cortisol levels, it is great to work out in the morning. But again, if your levels are way too high in the morning, to do a workout in the morning, not beneficial. Way too low in the morning, it's even harder on your system to try and get it going, right? You can't drive a car without gas. You can't get your system going if there's nothing there, right? So it's more beneficial to do it at a point where your levels are more appropriate until you can work with your body to shift this. That's the other super fun thing about this. You can help your cortisol levels. You can shift and change this. Jessica, it's tough being a woman. Yes. The blessing and the curse of it, right? Yes. But so depending on your cortisol levels, I do think in general, it is beneficial to do a workout in the morning. Lifestyle wise, everything else, for me that works, for a lot of people that works for their normal cortisol pattern. But if you do not have a normal cortisol pattern, starting right away from when you wake up in the morning, it is not the most beneficial to do your workout in the morning. Absolutely not. Okay, so there's that. Anytime in the morning, afternoon, right, as long as your levels are within range. A lot of people will have regular levels, like your body can regulate throughout the day-ish. And again, this is what I see most commonly on Dutch tests. I read a lot of Dutch tests. I do like 10, 15 a week. So I do a lot of them, which is fantastic because I love to share about results and what can typically happen. So if you have like, oh yeah, more normal levels here, okay, right, great. But at night, if your levels again are way too low or even coming up, yeah, that's not good. Now, depending on what type of workout you're doing and what thing you're training for, this can also depend on when you're doing workouts, right? If it is evening, if it's 9:30 at night and you want to go to bed at 10:30, would I recommend going to the gym and start lifting at 9:30? No. No. What's the latest you should work out? I mean, again, overall, is it helpful to have movement, to get exercise, all that stuff? Yes, get the exercise in. Yes, please do a workout, absolutely. But if you didn't get it in and it's past 8 o'clock, your system really should be winding down. Your cortisol levels should be coming down. And if you push your body too late, you're actually going to rev it, right? Rev your body way too much when it should be easing out. Now, here's the stinker of it, right? If you start doing a lot of really late workouts that are more intense, right? If you're like doing some gentle yoga, restorative yoga, going for a nice walk, something like that, great. That works perfectly with winding down at the end of the day. But if you're pushing your body, getting your heart rate up, that is what spikes your cortisol response. And again, if your levels are too low or even too high, if your system's coming up at night, right? If you're trending up in this direction, oh, it was way too high in the morning. It kind of, oh, look, it's normal-ish. And then it comes up. That's bad. That means that as your system is supposed to be winding down at night, it gets completely revved. Yeah. And it's becoming more in high alert at night while you're supposed to be sleeping. Sometimes it feels like you just fall asleep because you're so wiped out, but then you wake up in the middle of the night. The littlest thing can wake you up, and when you wake up, you're bing, awake. Of course you're awake and like on high alert. What's going on? Yeah, because your levels are like super high. So having a messed up pattern throughout the day messes up your circadian rhythms, messes up how well you sleep, rest, repair, all the things, which means you're not sleep, resting, and repairing and all the things. Yes, right? Yes. Good question on how do you know your levels? Getting them tested. Again, this is what we do in the 12-week challenge, which the link is right there in the comments for the waitlist for the next one. But we look at them. Now, this is an example of this cortisol pattern here, and this one's like flatlined. Flatlined, right? Real low. So actually doing a mid-morning workout, right? Not right away when you wake up, but sometime after an hour or so, waking up, 2 hours after waking up, doing some type of workout would be beneficial to help push that level to a positive range there. Yeah. It varies person to person, but now I'm questioning when I should work out. Ooh, yep, yes, it does. But again, if your levels are coming up at night, doing an evening workout can make this work and can disrupt your sleep worse. It can be really deceiving because there may be some times of the month where you feel like you might fall asleep easier or better by doing an evening workout, and other times where it's worse. Yeah, that's related to more of a hormone shift, but overall, with your cortisol levels in terms of helping improve this, it's really important we know what's happening here. So helpful. Can't wait to get my Dutch results. Yes, Amy! Yes, right? But this is the thing I see so often, and women are like, yeah, I get so exhausted in the morning that I just don't get going, and then I get all this extra energy at night, so this is when I work out. I'm like, yeah, we're actually making that pattern worse then. And that's a typical adrenal fatigue pattern. Getting a second boost, a second wind at night. So like, let me just wait till I get that second wind, and then I'll do that workout. Does it stink to make your system do it earlier? Yes. Is it more helpful? Yes. But again, with the workout, what's your goal? Right? What's your goal with it? Is it helpful to get movement in? Yes. But do you need to really like push your body or try and do all this extreme stuff when you're having cortisol or adrenal issues anyway? No, absolutely not. When I had really bad stress response issues, and I talked about this in one of my podcasts, I literally had hair that was falling out. I mean, some of the baby hairs that you see here is still the regrowth. That's why I sound crazy. It's a lot of it. When I should have used dry shampoo today. But this regrowth is honestly from when I had my issues a few years ago that were real bad. Yeah, that's just a few years of growth there, right? A lot of my hair fell out. A lot of my hair fell out. I didn't even have balance. I couldn't even do a lunge without almost falling over. It was bad. So it was a very slow process, tiptoeing into doing more intense workouts, pushing my body harder, being able to really be effective at a workout at the right time of the day for me. But it's that process that once you get the right focus moving forward, you feel your body responding positively, and you notice, oh my gosh, I can do a good workout and make it all the way through and still have energy at the end. I can recover appropriately, and now I'm actually seeing the right results from my workouts. One of the most frustrating things is to bust your butt and force yourself to do these things and not see anything from it. And if you're not seeing anything from it, it's not that you're not doing the right magic workout, right? There's no like one exercise that's going to give you the flattest abs ever. No. It's about working out and really addressing what your body needs now and what you're working towards. And that oftentimes only comes with a customized recommendation. And that's what we do in the 12-week. Dr. Victoria and I work with you to make sure you are getting exactly what your system needs at the right time, oftentimes, until we get this corrected and your body's following the right pattern. Yes. So I covered a lot of stuff. I kind of did a deep dive and I covered a lot of stuff. I didn't want to talk about the adrenal glands or anything else, but again, cortisol is helpful. You need some in your system. Where it becomes a problem is when you have too much or too little at the wrong time. That's when your body doesn't respond right. That's when you wake up and you feel like a zombie. And it takes your system a while to come all the way in. It's like you wake up and the dimmer switch is on like the lowest. And you have to get a couple of cups of coffee in before you're like, oh, here we go. Dimmer switch is turned up now. I can function. Ah. Yeah, I get it. But again, this is why I do what I do. This is why I educate how I do. So this is the amazing shift and change that you can have in your body, in your system, with the right type of guidance. So let me know what questions you have. Let me know how else I can help. But again, get on the wait list for the 12-week challenge. It is right there in the comments. And if you want me to talk more about workouts throughout the cycle or other hormonal issues or workouts for menopause, those are different too. And if you're not getting recommendations like that, you're really missing out on working with your body. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. I will see you later.